Welcome back. We are joined by Theodore Postel, a professor of science and technology and national security at MIT, who is a specialist on nuclear weapons, delivery systems, missiles, and missile defense. Was also done some work for the Pentagon. So thank you very much for coming back on.
Well, my great pleasure for being invited by you.
Well, I have been looking forward to speak with you because in this war against Iran, it's a largely a war about missiles and missile defense. Essentially, who can create the most pain and absorb the most pain is able to exhaust the adversary. And I thought you are, the recipient of this Norbert Wiener Award from Computer Professionals for Social Responsibility for
Yes.
uncovering all these deceptions which has previously been made about missile defense. So I thought, who better to have a critical view, cut through all this fog of war, because there is a lot of focus these days on narrative control, so it obscures reality. And I wanted to get well, I guess a good place to start is your overall assessments of this war. I mean, what is that stands out, or what is your takeaway?
Well, I think you got a fantastic assessment just recently from Larry Wilkerson, but I'll give you my assessment from my much narrower, because Larry I think is really broad and has all this experience, but from my much narrower technologist point of view. So let me caveat my initial discussion by pointing out that I literally have been working night and day to try to keep up with what's going on, and it takes time to put together slides and videos, which I hope I'll be able to show some that will be helpful. That will try to inform your audience, because looking at a video is one thing, knowing what it's telling you is another. So let me start out by just saying that from a purely technical point of view, again, not from this much broader and wiser perspective of someone like Larry has on this, it's very clear that this war is going as someone like and more importantly, Larry would have guessed. I mean, it's what we're seeing now is in the initial phases of the war, the United States and Israel are doing tremendous damage to Iran. But of course, Iran is a country of 90 million people, and it's a very cohesive country with all of the internal problems it has. It's still basically a cohesive culture, and it doesn't appear to me that the situation is in any way favoring the outcome that both President Trump and Premier Netanyahu are talking about. That is to say, it hardly seems likely that there will be any collapse of the kind that both these leaders are aiming at. I have to say, though, I'm beginning to become extremely concerned with Netanyahu, who I'm going to say it just because I've been thinking about it. This man is a homicidal maniac, and this is the kind of homicidal maniac that could use a nuclear weapon at some point. So I think I'm perhaps next time I'm on, I can remind your audience about the capabilities of Iran as a nuclear weapon state. It is not a non-nuclear weapon state. It is not a nuclear weapon state who has built a nuclear weapon, at least as far as we know, but it is a weapon state that could build a nuclear weapon on very short notice. And it would not be possible to stop them from building a nuclear weapon, even if you were using nuclear weapons on Iran while they were constructing their nuclear weapon or nuclear weapons. They have enough enriched uranium hexafluoride to construct 10 atomic bombs, which would be much more than enough to finish off Israel as a state. Israel is not a state of 90 million people, it's 8 or 9 million. It's got a few large critical cities, and 10 nuclear weapons would be far more than is needed to end Israel as a state. And there is no way to stop Iran. I could talk a little bit about that at some future time. I have talked. Basically, what you need to do could be easily housed in a tunnel that's not necessarily especially large, and you could actually enrich, do the final enrichment you need to get weapons grade uranium, and build a nuclear weapon that does not need to be tested. It's important to understand this is a uranium weapon and it would not need to be tested. And it would not, it simply is well within the reach of Iran to build these nuclear weapons. So we need to start worrying or need to start thinking about the possibility we could see nuclear weapons used. Now, I do not think Iran will use nuclear weapons against Israel first. But I think as this war goes on, the situation is going to continue to deteriorate. And we already can see, I'll show some evidence for this, that the attacks on Tel Aviv and Haifa have been extremely effective. And it looks like the precision of delivery that the ballistic missiles now being used by Iran is higher than what we saw earlier. I think that is probably because Iran was using older ballistic missiles in the earlier attacks, since it's clear that their strategy has been aimed at saving their most capable damaging attacks for a long war if it occurs. So I don't think they were expending their most capable missiles during the earlier wars we saw in June, for example. So we're now seeing much more capable missiles. I'll talk a little bit about them. And also, we're seeing the effects of drones at a level that is really, I have to say, I should have expected, but I have to say I've been a little surprised by it. And this is because of two technical factors that are extremely important and is not nearly as well understood by the general public as it should be. In general public, I include the press. The first is that China and Russia are giving real-time, high resolution satellite data of the targets that Iran is interested in attacking in the Persian Gulf, in the Persian Gulf states, and also in Israel itself. So the location of these potential targets is known essentially in real time. Now the drones have a homing capability that I'd like to describe because I don't think people appreciate how extraordinarily effective this homing capability is.